I'm proud to say this is the only video on YouTube that explains each section of JFK's Air Force One and what was the intention of those areas of the plane. And because I dug deep into the National Air Force Museum's archive, this is the only video on YouTube that not only shows JFK's lavatory, but you're going to get a 360-degree tour from the toilet seat. The MAC 0311 no-kill shelter of the week is Faithful Friends Animal Shelter in Salisbury, North Carolina.
Hello, America. Today we are just outside the U.S. Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. We're going to tour JFK's Air Force One. Let's kick it.
Today we visit Patterson Air Force Base, just outside Dayton, Ohio, home of the Air Force Base Museum. And we will get close and personal with some of these exotic wonders, but first, let's start with what might be the largest artifact in the United States history. That is SAM 26,000, aka Air Force One. This is the first airplane that was designed and built specifically for a president of the United States. Everything previous to this was just off the rack and then upgraded for the president of the United States. With the help of a design engineer, Jackie Onassis was asked by her other half if she would design the outside of the airplane. That request came after the airplane was delivered with this paint scheme. As you gaze at this angle of the plane, please keep in mind that you have shared this view with every president, vice president, and many dignitaries from 1962 to 1989. At this point in American history, it took 4 people to fly this plane. All 4 of those people went through a 3-day rigorous interview process to get this job. This is a handheld tool used by the navigator. It's called a sextant, and it's used to measure distance between celestial bodies and the horizon. This is the president's communication center. If the president wants to send a message to anywhere on the ground, this would scramble the message and send it. The receiving message would be descrambled, and the president can get his message. In this photo, President Reagan is standing in the same spot that I'm standing with the camera. Now here's the galley, and to be honest, before I started investigating, I was very disappointed. But this is actually the galley for everyone except the president. And we'll take a look at that a little bit later. This first area of seating was originally designated for the press and others. Now, this upcoming striped wall is the backside of the president's bathroom. On the right side of the wall, we have extra seating. On the left side of the wall, we have the backside of the president's suite. And here is the presidential suite. Oops, see that open door? That's the bathroom. Let's take a look. Here's a 360-degree view of the presidential bathroom. Now, 8 presidents have taken a number 2 here. Maybe that toilet's under that seat, maybe that's a sitting area, and that second door houses a toilet and a shower like an RV would today. Let's clear up some misunderstandings about Air Force One 26,000. It served from 1962 to 1989. In that time, it served as Air Force One First String, Air Force One Second String, and Air Force Two. Many of those presidents were vice president, so this didn't serve all those presidents. Sometimes they were vice presidents. Now here's the stateroom where the president would meet and have important meetings. Here is the great President Ronald Reagan having one of those meetings. Now, if this seating area looks much better than the one that was at the front of the plane, that's because this was originally designated as VIP seating. And right now you are looking at the spot that LBJ stood when he took the oath of office as they left Dallas. Now, it's much easier to get footage of Ronald Reagan on this plane than it is to find even a black and white photo of JFK.
Aren't those different kind of pants? Aren't those different kind of pants?
Oh, you ought to see the coat that goes with it.
For those of you who are familiar with the president in a tan suit theory, this is actually a tuxedo. There's a stripe down the side of the leg. Here's some behind-the-scenes information. As I walked through this airplane, I did it twice, and the second time I did it so slow that the traffic behind me was backed up like a bunch of cars trying to get parking at a Trump rally. Now here is staff seating, and that's why you see the telephone in case the president wants to get any of these folks on the telly. And to get these people to back off me a little bit, I dropped a little coffee cough. About 30% of them were wearing masks, and it was about 105 degrees. There's no fan in this skinny little hallway, which I cannot walk perpendicular down. I have to walk parallel to the to the glass walls. Now, if you look to the left, here is the presidential galley. Before I knew this was the presidential galley, I was thinking how nice the Independence galley was, and I was thinking that the galley up front that was for crew, dignitaries, and journalists was the one for the president. But here we are in a much nicer space. Now, if the crew needs to get hold of the President of the United States, they could do it right here on the phone to the left. You see the presidential seal over it. And here again is a view that has been shared by 8 presidents and now yourself as they step off of John F. Kennedy's Air Force One. Here is LBJ's Jet Star. When Air Force Two, or later Air Force One, landed at either Austin or El Paso Airport, LBJ would transfer to this plane, which was the very first business class plane ever created, and this plane would take him over to his ranch. Although this airplane was not used in any military combat, it is designated as a Vietnam War era airplane. We all know President Clinton liked his private time. And proof of that is that President Clinton had his staff and the media travel on this plane that would take off and arrive at the destination before Air Force One. To get on board of Truman's Independence Air Force One, I needed to fit through this little box. This indicates how difficult it'll be to make it through the plane. I came prepared by greasing my torso with a stick of butter in the bathroom moments ago. And if we get stuck, there's going to be a lot of angry people behind me. But let's give it a try. For the record, President Truman, number 33, was the last president to fly on a prop-propelled airplane. Now, there could be up to 4 people that work in a cockpit. That is, pilot, co-pilot, engineer, and navigator. Each one of those people had to know everybody else's job. Everybody was required to know what every button in that cockpit was for. The table here is dressed with playing cards that say Air Force One. I actually looked for those in the gift shop, couldn't find any. Harry Truman pooped there.
He pooped there, man.
That's probably all they had to do back then. They didn't have YouTube. Yeah, there's no cell. And as we just found out, I was wrong after investigating during the day what rooms were what on this plane. We found out there were 2 galleys. This area is for the crew, and I think they got the best spot on the plane, really. Being so close to the galley, I'm going to guess this is the dinner table. I don't know. I think I like Truman's kitchen better. What do you guys think? JFK's galley or Truman's galley? If you have an opinion, share with me below. Peace and love worldwide. Live your life before your life lives you. And keep on smiling.
Of all the amazing items that have ever been offered through mail order, there has never been any greater than this. The red-headed StepStacker hat, meticulously embroidered directly to the hat, in America, by American.
Order now and get these famous Ginsu steak knives, plus these accessory knives, free.
Get yours now, link below in the description and the comments.
Und schink la bla. Haha.